Remember, you are only one decision away. And today I'm going to share the 10 powerful shifts that can completely change how you experience your life. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, why do they seem so happy when life has been so hard for them too? Because the truth most people never tell you is happiness is not something that happens to certain lucky people. Happiness is a decision. And the beautiful part of it is, it's a decision that is available to you every single day. Now, I know some of you watching might be thinking, you don't know my life and you don't know what I've been through. And you know what? You're right. But I do know something. After 30 years of working with women and walking through my own life experiences, I know that women who end up living life joyfully, peaceful, fulfilling lives are not women with perfect circumstances. They are women who learn how to think differently. And today I'm going to share the 10 powerful shifts that can completely change how you experience your life. Because happiness isn't found in a relationship. It's not in a bigger house or finally getting everything perfect. Happiness begins with one decision inside of your mind. If you are in midlife or beyond, you're probably experienced quite a few things: disappointment, heartbreak, maybe some unexpected life turns. Maybe the kids are grown. Maybe the career has changed. Maybe you've asked yourself, is this really what the rest of my life is going to look like? And if you've ever had that thought, I want you to hear this today. Your happiest years may still be ahead of you, but they begin with a choice. So, right now, I'm going to share my top 10 ways to create a positive outlook on life. And let's talk about the 10 ways you can start choosing happiness intentionally. These are simple ideas, but when practiced consistently, they can completely transform your life. All right. Number one, decide that happiness is your responsibility. This is one of the biggest turning points in my life. And when that turning point happened, is when I realized something important. My happiness was no one else's job. It wasn't my husband's job. It's not my family's job. It's not my friend's job. And it's not based on my circumstances. It is mine. When we place our happiness in the hands of other people, we give away our power. And when we decide my happiness is my responsibility, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for life to change and you begin leading your life differently. Number two, learn to manage your thoughts. Oh, this is so important. Most people believe their emotions are created by what happens to them, but that's not actually true. Our emotions come from our thoughts about what happens. You can have two women who can go through the exact same situation. One feels defeated, and the other only grows stronger. The difference? The story they tell themselves. If you want to experience more happiness in your life, you have to start watching your thinking. Ask yourself regularly, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Because the way you think today creates the way you feel tomorrow. Number three, be careful what you feed your mind. We live in a world where information is constantly pouring into our minds through social media, through politics, through the news, endless scrolling. And if we're not careful, it can fill our minds with comparison, negativity, and fear. You start seeing everyone else's highlight reel, and suddenly your life feels smaller. But here's something powerful you can do: treat your mind like valuable real estate, protect it. You know, be careful of what you allow into it. Follow people who inspire you and unfollow people and things that make you feel drained, discouraged, or behind. Because what you consume mentally eventually becomes what you believe about your life. Number four, pay attention to what you watch on TV. Yeah, this one surprises people sometimes. But what you watch on television affects your emotional state more than you realize. If every show you watch is filled with conflict, anger, drama, negativity, guess what? your brain becomes familiar with. Exactly that. Your brain starts to normalize negativity. Instead, be intentional. Watch things that inspire you, encourage you, make you laugh, and lift your spirit because happiness grows when your environment supports it. Number five, oh, this one is so important. Choose your circle carefully. The people that you spend time with influence your life more than almost anything else. Have you ever noticed how certain people make you feel lighter and others make you feel drained? Energy is contagious and attitudes are contagious. Mindsets are contagious. And if you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, criticize, and expect the worst from life, it becomes very hard to think positively. But when you surround yourself with people who feel that life is beautiful, people who are growing, people who are hopeful, you know what? It lifts you. And you begin to see all of the possibilities that life holds. Number six, create triggers that remind you happiness is a choice. Now, this is simple, but a powerful strategy. Create visual reminders that bring your mind back to the truth that happiness is a choice. It could be a sticky note on your mirror that says, choose joy today. It might be a bracelet you wear that when you see it, it reminds you to shift your thinking. It might be a daily morning ritual where you say to yourself, today I choose peace. Today I choose gratitude. Our minds wander and life distracts us, but triggers bring us back to intentional living. Number seven, it's important to practice gratitude daily. Gratitude changes your brain. It literally trains your mind to look for what is good instead of look for what is missing. And here's something very interesting. The happiest women that I know are not the ones with the easiest lives. They are the ones who notice the good in their lives consistently. Maybe they're grateful for that warm cup of coffee in the morning or a conversation with a friend, maybe a beautiful sunset. Little things become big things when you start paying attention. Number eight, stop waiting for everything to be perfect. So many women postpone happiness. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when. When the weight is gone, when the finances improve, when the relationship changes. But happiness doesn't come from perfect circumstances. They come from learning to appreciate life while you're still growing through it. Life is always going to be a mixture of beautiful moments and difficult moments. But happiness is found in learning how to hold both with grace. Number nine, take care of yourself without guilt. Many women spend decades taking care of everyone else, the children, the family, the home, the work, responsibilities, and somewhere along the way, they forget to care for themselves. But your well being matters. Rest matters. Peace matters. Doing things that bring you joy matters. When you care for yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically, you show up in the world with more energy, more kindness, and more joy. Number 10, remember you are only one decision away. This might be the most important thing that I say today. Your life doesn't change all at once, but it can begin to change with one decision. The decision to think differently, the decision to see possibilities instead of limitations, the decision to believe that this chapter of your life is, it could still be beautiful. You're not too old. It's not too late. And the life that feels joyful and meaningful is closer than you think. Sometimes it truly is just one decision away. If you've watched this and something inside of you is thinking, maybe my life could feel lighter, happier, and more peaceful, I want you to hold onto that thought because that little spark, that possibility, you know, the women I have watched transform their lives over the years all had one thing in common. They decided they no longer was going to live on autopilot. They were going to lead their life intentionally. And if you're here today, something tells me you might be ready for that too. If this message spoke to you today, I would love to hear from you. Comment below and tell me which one of these 10 shifts are you going to start practicing this week? And if you're a woman in midlife who is ready to create a happier, more meaningful next chapter, make sure you subscribe to this channel because this is exactly what we talk about here, creating a life that feels joyful, confident, and deeply fulfilling, no matter what chapter you're in. And remember, happiness isn't something you wait for, it's something that you choose. And you might be just one decision away.